Thank you so much. How to make your marriage or relationship work. And my name is Fisayo Dayo-Samuel, as you know, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon. So it's a beautiful thing to be married, and it's a beautiful thing to be in a relationship too. So I wouldn't say it's a beautiful thing to be married, it's a beautiful thing to be in a relationship. And but what is most beautiful about being married is that you come from a place of awareness and intentionality. Do you understand? So many people do get married, so many people enter into relationship, and they are not intentional, they are not coming from a place of awareness. And so by the time the orders of relationship comes in, they get frustrated, they get distracted, and it's sometimes get to break down the relationship, or you see some marriage heading to coma because of the things, or they are not living their marriage intentionally. So my job here today is to walk you through the things that you need to do, or the awareness that you need to make your relationship work, to make your marriage work. So there's a lot of things going on around marriage today, maybe because of the era of social media. We have a lot of negativity spreading around today because I think people get to project more of the negative side of relationship or marriage than the positive side. And so many people will have this doubt in their mind: will my marriage work? Am I sure I want to get married? Because of all these things that I've been seeing, because of the feedback people are giving. People are really fast to share their problems online now. They are really fast to talk about how this lady did this, how this man, how the guy did this. And you are wondering if relationship is meant to go rosy. Yes, relationship can be sweet, marriage can be sweet, but I wouldn't want to, cajole you. There are times where you get to ask yourself, why am I in this relationship? Why am I even married to this person? Because we are all humans, and there is no how you're going to live with someone, there's no how you're going to be close to someone that you won't see their shortcomings. Now, how you now handle those shortcomings, now depends on you, depends on the awareness that you have, depends on what's your goal about this relationship. Not everybody understands why they are in a relationship, not everybody understands why they got married. And so when they are faced with challenges, they are not in that conscious state of mind to understand what they need to do or what steps they need to take. So I have put so many things together for us today so that it can help us and guide us through this process. So one of the first things I'm going to be touching today is be open-minded. So I wrote here today, I said, apart from loving your spouse, you need to also love yourself enough to keep your sanity intact. One of the things that people do not understand is that before you say you want to love anyone, you have to love yourself. And my question today is, do you love yourself enough to want to love another person? Do you do you consider yourself lovable enough for anyone to want to love you, or for you seeing yourself as a lovable person? Do you consider yourself as a lovable person in the first instance before you now want to love another person? There are days, if you're not careful in your relationship, that your sanity will be taken away, your sanity will be tampered with. And so you have to be open-minded to see beyond your spouse's attitude and behavior. And so when things happen in the relationship, you are considering, why is he behaving like this, or why is he behaving irritable to you? You need to see beyond, okay, what got me attracted to this person in the first place? Why am I with this person in the first instance? And so you are putting the act behind beside. It's not like you're not going to address it, but you are putting it beside and seeing beyond that person. People are not their behavior. People just do things out of, let's say, out of impulse, out of reaction, out of mood, out of situation. So you have to, see beyond their attitude. You have to see beyond their behavior at that particular time. Be open-minded to resolving misunderstanding, even when it is not convenient. Now, there are times when you know that you're not the one at fault. You know that it is your spouse that is at fault, but you're wondering he or she should come and apologize. If the person is not coming forward, you should be open-minded to go and start a conversation. Not everybody wants to start that conversation, but when you're open-minded and you are not allowing the situation to overwhelm you, let me use that word, to overwhelm you at that particular moment, you can start a conversation. If you are open-minded, if you are not blocked with the fact that he is at fault, she is at fault, and I need that person to come and apologize to me. I need the person to start a conversation. Resolving conflict isn't always convenient. One has to be deliberate about it. Be open-minded to embrace your spouse's shortcomings and give room for correction and growth. We are all growing in every day of our lives, and so when you see that there are shortcomings, there are things that you need to work on with your spouse, please do not shovel the person behind, because it has been a consistent thing. Change, like they say, is a process, and so you have to let this person be be settled enough to see that he or she needs to be corrected, he or she needs to change, because you have to be deliberate. It's not going to be easy, but you have to be deliberate about it, because you have a goal, and your goal is to enjoy bliss. Your goal is to enjoy your relationship with that person, and if you want to enjoy your relationship with that person, you have to be intentional, be aware, and be deliberate about everything that you do in that relationship. Number 2 is build a wall around your marriage. Build a wall around your relationship. See, with the way things are going, especially with marriage issues, you will want to put in extra work. Building a wall around your marriage or relationship means that without permission, no one is permitted to intrude in the privacy of your home, and even those that are allowed have their boundaries. There's one thing to allow people into your business. There's another thing to give them a limit. Build a wall around your relationship that it's difficult for people to now penetrate into it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't allow people to be aware of what is going on, especially when you have a marriage counselor that you can confide in, but there are things that you and your spouse need to work together as one, as couple. And so you have to be careful who you allow into your business, who you allow into your marriage. Build a sustainable wall around your home, a positive one, not the one that is abusive. Not the one that is abusive. Build a positive, sustainable wall around your relationship that to keep you going as couple. I wrote here, I said the reason why you need to build a wall around your relationship is because one major issue people go through in their home is something that comes from the outside. So you see that people are, when you start hearing people complain about one thing or the other, it's like they said, she said, somebody told me, somebody said this, somebody said that, and you're wondering how do you manage to allow all these things to come into your relationship? How did you allow this thing to maneuver the bond you and your spouse been sharing together? How can someone from outside initiate a conversation that can terminate or that can demean your partner, and you accept it and you take it in, and you get home or you get on your phone and you start reacting? And so when people already have a final say over your spouse, over your partner, that means you have no say again. That means there is trust issues, there is no confidence in that relationship. And when you lose the trust, you lose the confidence in that relationship, things start getting worse. You start having issues. You start enjoying company from outside than inside. When a well-built wall is guiding your home and its activities, it is difficult to break in. When it's difficult for people to break in, they move away. There are so many times that I've said so many things about me or about my husband, and because I know the kind of person I married, instead of shoving them away, I just said, okay, but I talked with my husband, I want to hear from him. And it is good that you hear from your spouse before you judge, because they might be coming from another angle, or maybe the person is seeing it from another angle, and is he or she is not understanding where your spouse or your partner is coming from. So you need to hear from your own spouse before you react. Now, constant work is needed to keep the world safe and secure. So let's use, for example, maybe a house and a fence is built around that house. If you are not keeping that house safe, if you are not making sure that it's being cleaned, the foundation of that wall is enough to withstand any rain, it will get to a time when that wall will break. That's when you see some collapsed building. You see some collapsed building, and you're like, this house has been a long time. How come it's breaking down now? It's because if you check the foundation of that wall, there's something missing. So it takes consistent work to keep the wall of your relationship and your marriage going, so that it's not going to break down like those collapsed buildings breaking down after every rainfall. So consistent work is needed, and before you can start working on that, you need to be aware. So it takes us back to number one, where you need to be deliberate and intentional about your home. Number three, reasonable expectations. I have had so many people talk about their expectations before they got married, and I'm like, are you being real? So people would come up with some things that they themselves cannot come true. So some people have projected unrealistic expectations on their spouse, to the extent that their spouse now feel miserable at every time. That can be very demeaning. When you give your spouse an unrealistic expectation, it kills them internally, and before you know it, it starts coming on the outside. You start seeing it externally. And so some have even lost their self-esteem in the process, because it looks like they are not able to get anything right, and because it is not right in your face, you keep punishing them on something they have no power over. So check your expectations about your spouse today. Are they realistic enough? Are you being over are you over fantasizing? Let me use this word. Some people just fantasize and they be like, I want this, I want that, this is how I want my home to be, this is how I want my husband to look, this is how I want my wife to look, and this is how I want my boyfriend or my fiance to look, this is the amount of money I want in my bank account. And I'm wondering, have you worked for these expectations? Ask yourself today, have you worked for these expectations? So let me share my personal story. It's gonna be funny, but it's something that I believe that will help us. So I remember when I just got married, I had an expectation of what I want in my home. My husband had this too, and unknown to us, we keep projecting this on each other at every opportunity, and this became a routine. And the house was almost becoming a place where you have to be corrected every day. How do you feel when somebody keeps correcting you every day? Like you wake up and somebody has something to say this morning, this afternoon, and this night. And when you get out, somebody is giving you accolades. Like, you look beautiful. I love the way you talk. I love the way you handle this issue. And by the time you are stepping into your house, somebody is saying, why did you put your stars there? Why did you do this? Every day it's as if you don't even know how to do anything. Maybe because you don't know, maybe you've not sat down with your spouse to discuss this. So I remember during this period, I practically couldn't function well at home. So imagine someone who has been functioning well before, and because of the whole drama that has been going on every day, the functionality of that person just dropped. So I'm not saying you should have expectations. It is good, but make sure they aren't demeaning the other person, and they began to feel unworthy. and we want to find solace outside with another person. When your spouse is not accepted in the house, they look outside for someone who will accept them. And I think you don't want that. You don't want that to happen to your partner. When they are not accepted inside, they look for someone. And funniest thing is there's always someone out there to accept them. So you're wondering what happened to your bond with your spouse, what happened to your man, what happened to him, what happened to your lady, he or she is not talking to you again, and you're wondering that they prefer to talk to somebody on phone, they prefer to gist with their friends, they prefer to talk to someone about their problems than sharing it with you. And you're wondering what happened. Maybe because you have projected what you expect from them. Not, sometimes they're not even aware. You are the one, thinking everything in your head. You are the one imagining it. You are the one exercising it. You are the one projecting everything, and it affects them. It keeps affecting them. Sometimes people lose their self-esteem on the process. So you see some people, they rather stay outside and just come back at bedtime to come and sleep and leave home as early as possible. They don't enjoy their house because it is not a conducive environment for them. So instead, have a heart-to-heart talk. List out your expectation and let your spouse do same. Talk about each of them and how you can help each other in a way that can help strengthen your weaknesses. So instead of projecting everything in your head, instead of saying things that might hurt the other person, sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk. So many people don't talk. They don't talk with their spouse. They don't talk. They either argue or fight. So sit down, try and find a conducive day to talk about this. Heart-to-heart talk. List out your expectation. Let your spouse do same. See how the two of you can work together as team. Now, you are coming together as team. That's why you got married. And you shall become one. Now, teamwork brings out the best in your relationship. And so you can highlight your strengths and weaknesses and see how you can help each other become better. So, the next one is crisis management. Someone asked me this funny question. Is it possible to have misunderstanding? Is it possible not to have misunderstanding with my wife at all? That day I laughed. And I was like, is it possible? No, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it is, it is not, it is possible, because even the tongue and teeth, fight, and we end up what? Becoming friends, because I need my tongue to taste and I need my teeth to chew. So it is not possible to run away from misunderstanding, but it is possible to prevent elongated misunderstanding. It is possible to enjoy mental calmness even in the midst of conflict. So there is a way you can manage issues in your home that it will not, affect your relationship with your spouse. Even without being married, just living with a grown human being in the same house, there sure will be something that will make you disagree. This is normal, and you are just being human. Where the problem lies is when you are not able to manage the misunderstanding, and it keeps elongating to the extent that you now keep malice with each other. When sanity is not available in a particular home or relationship, it starts to disturb the mental health of the people in that house. So I have a story to share with us this afternoon. I read it online, but it resonates with me, and I've seen some people go through this. Maybe it didn't lead to death as this story, but we need to see how we can now work together as couples so that we don't end up like these people. So I'm going to read this story, and I want you to listen. So your husband and wife had misunderstanding with each other in the night. They both went up to bed like that. They woke up and didn't talk to each other and went to their individual work of place. The wife came back before the husband, cooked, served the food, and went to bed. The husband came home and also went to bed. In the middle of the night, the wife started touching the husband and was calling his attention. He felt, we aren't talking. Why would you be asking me to make love to you? After so much calling for attention and there was no answer, the attention stopped and the husband eventually slept. The husband woke up before the wife in the morning. He saw that she was still sleeping. He dressed up for work and went out. Came back during the day and met the door still the same way he left it. He went to the room and met his wife at the same spot he left her. Unknown to him, the wife was calling for help in the middle of the night because she was an asthma patient and needed him to help her with the inhaler. He called the wife, but no response. She died as a result of not having an inhaler close by. What would have happened if they had settled the misunderstanding that night, or even the next day before they both went to sleep? What would have happened? Will the wife still be alive today? I am sure the man will not want to forgive himself for this act, because I am wondering the state of mind in which this man will be. If this is a true life story, I'm wondering what will be the state of this man today, knowing fully well that he had the opportunity to help the wife, but because they had a little misunderstanding that could be resolved, the wife died. I'm imagining so many people are being in this shoe today. It might not have led to death. It might not have led to death, but I'm imagining the people who are even dead in their hearts already because of issues that they have not resolved. Do you know that accumulated unresolved issue, affects the mental state of a particular person? So imagine that you have a misunderstanding today, you didn't settle it. Next week you have another misunderstanding, you didn't settle it, and it keeps going on and going. There will be a day where your heart will not be able to take it anymore. So for my own family, part of our family constitution in our home is no one goes to sleep with any misunderstanding. When we have any issue, we talk about it. Now, I'm not saying that when we made this constitution it was easy, especially for my husband. My husband is a process person. He loves when issue up, he loves to process before he talks about it. But for me, I love to take the issue on the spot. Like, this is what is happening, let's talk about it, let's find who is at fault, how can we get better, and apologize to each other and move on with our life. That is me. But my husband, he wants to process. He wants to think about it internally. He wants to, all the dissection and everything. So for me, it was frustrating at the first, when we first started, implementing this constitution, because I am always the first person to approach him to talk about issues. So when things come up, I'll be the first person to talk about it, even when I know that he's at fault, and that thing can be very annoying. So I'm not going to mice word with us or cajole us. It can be very annoying when you know that you are the one that needs this person. He's the one that did this, and you are the one going to start that conversation. But I'm imagining that I can't sleep knowing fully well that I and my husband, we are not in talking terms. It's as if the peace of my home has been taken away at that moment. And so what I do is I approach him. I tell him that I know we are having misunderstanding, but please, let's talk about it. Even if we cannot resolve it that day, but I am sure that we have been able to talk about it to some extent that we can still talk like normal human beings at home, instead of keeping malice with each other, then we can resolve it the next day. So this has helped us so far. And when we first started, it wasn't easy, but now my husband too is adjusting. And so when the issue comes, he also comes to me and we talk about it. It's not every time, but we are all approaching the same goal. We have the same goal that we want to achieve in our marriage. And so we have to be deliberate about it. Even if it is not convenient, we have to be deliberate about it. To be honest, like I said, it can be so understand how you both react to issues and find a common ground that best suits your home. Now, what suits our home might not be what suits your home, but find a common ground. Instead of keeping malice with each other, find a common ground and find a way to settle your misunderstanding. Please, when you settle misunderstanding, do not attack the person, but undo the situation. See the situation as, as a bad apple that needs to be cut off, not the person. So you're not cutting off your spouse, you're cutting off you're cutting off the situation, the behavior, the attitude at that particular moment. Now, I would take time to talk about this, because not everybody, do this. Have a family goal, have a family vision and goal. Now, people, for you that you are here to get married and you're watching this afternoon, this is very important. If your spouse is not here with you, you can talk with your spouse about this. Have a family goal, have a family vision. Why do you want to get married to this person? Why do you even want to have a family? Why do you even want to get married at all? Write it down. Ask your spouse to write same. If you are married and you don't have already, please do. Have a heart-to-heart talk. Sit down and talk about this. Why are we married? Why are we even in this relationship? What are the values that our home will be giving to people? What problem will our marriage be solving in the society? You're not just coming together just because you want to, recuperate, give birth, everything. There should be something that you are doing that is influencing the lives of people positively. So write your individual goal and vision and put it together as family. Put it together as family. It should be word to word, that when your husband is in Kaduna and you are asked, and he's asked, what is your family vision? He is able to say it word to word. And if they call the wife in Lagos, they ask the same thing. She's able to say the same thing the husband said. It's not so different thing. Do you understand? So it has to be word for word. Like I want to say something, okay? Even when you start giving birth and your children get to a stage of maybe their teenage years, they also will be incorporated into this family vision and family goal, and that's why, or family values, and that's why you will need to sit down with them to ask them what they love about the family and what they look forward to in this home. Now you will now have to reconstruct that family vision to fit in to what you, your wife, and your kids want, so that they also have it at heart and they can also implement it in their day-to-day life. Because you say you want to raise a role model, and your children don't even know what being a role model is, or it has not been discussed in the family at all, and you expect them to now start behaving like a role model. It is not possible. So, like I said, being married and being in a relationship it takes constant work and intentionality. And from everything that we've been seeing in society today, I don't think anybody would not want to be intentional about their marriage. I don't think you want to go through that route of having to go through pain and hurt. So instead of you going through that, so you can put in work every day to make sure that you have you're enjoying a mental calmness in your relationship. And so also it applies to so I'm coming. I don't want to miss anything out. So that was why I wrote everything down. So we're almost rounding up so that I can take questions. So evaluation. Not everybody takes evaluation. So if I ask some people today who have been married for, let's say 10 years, 11 years, and I ask, when last did you evaluate your marriage? When last did you evaluate your relationship with this person? Or you've been in a relationship with this person since maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and you've not evaluated what the activities around the marriage. So which I said, I'm sure some of us go for checkup from time to time to know how our body is doing. So also it applies to our marriage. Have a professional marriage expert that guides your home through evaluation. Go for checkup from time to time to know how you are doing and what you need to do away with, what you need to work on. for us, we do 6 months interval checkup, apart from the one we do in our house with ourselves. We do our evaluation by ourselves, but we have our family, we have our marriage mentor that takes us through our 6 month interval evaluation. And I must confess, it has been helpful. It has been helpful. That helped us know where we need to work on, where we need to, when we need to adjust, where we need to put in more effort. Like I said, you have to be intentional. So some people used to ask me that, maybe you're a family life practitioner, do you need all this? I said, please, I need it, because it will not even be good that you're helping other people's relationship and your relationship is crashing. I don't want to live in a pretentious life that everything is okay when it is not okay. So sometimes, even when I think that I am not able to solve this issue, I make a call to our marriage counselor. Sir, ma, this thing I have to do to my own possible knowledge, and I'm not able to find a solution to it. What do you think we need to do? And they call us to order. So the thing is, when you have a marriage counselor that you can freely call and that your spouse will not be angry with, it's sweet. That you can freely call, that if the person calls your husband or your wife, he or she will not be angry, because the two of you signed an agreement that this person will be your marriage, your family coach, your family expert. So even when you are not able to express yourself freely because you don't know how your husband or your wife will react, you can call your marriage expert to come in, and they can call him or her to order, and everything can come in, but nobody will be angry, because that is how it is meant to be. So please, let's take evaluation serious. In all of this that we have said, that your marriage needs to work, your relationship needs to work, if you don't evaluate everything, you won't know where you have, you won't know how well you have grown, and where you need to adjust, or where you need to put more strength to make sure that this marriage works. So I will conclude with this. I believe a marriage can only work if the people in that marriage are ready to work. And I believe a relationship can also work if the people in this relationship are ready to work. So be deliberate and intentional about your marriage, about your home, and enjoy mental calmness. So thank you for joining me here. Oh, this thing wants to fall. No, it's not yet time. Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Now below at DBC, I can see you. Thank you. I'm trying to see everyone. Yadegoke Emmanuel, thank you so much. So I would love to take questions. I'll not be able to scroll through all the comments, but I will reply when I'm through with this live session. But I would love to take questions. If you have any question, please drop so that I can take it before I go. If you have any question, please drop it before I take my leave. Any question? I hope I've been able to make sense this afternoon. I hope I've been able to share some insights that can help you, have a beautiful, marriage is sweet. Marriage is sweet. It's very sweet. Especially if you're not yet married. I'm telling you that marriage is sweet, but you have to keep working to make it work. Thank you so much, Mercy Grace. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you so much. So I would love to take questions now. If you have questions, please ask before I take my leave. Okay, all right, I can see you. Thank you, my boss. Okay, I will be patient. Oh, you enjoyed my session. Thank you. I'm blushing. Thank you for the love. I'm seeing the love. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm seeing a question now. What do you do if you are in a relationship with someone who doesn't believe in having a marriage counselor, that question is actually a little bit dicey, because you want to have an authority over your relationship, no matter how you see it, because there'll be some point in your life when you need someone to step in. And if you don't have someone that the two of you agree on, it might be difficult, and you don't want to be alone when issues like that happen in your relationship. So maybe you should find a way to talk to that person to come to terms with it, or you can, I think you might need to find a way to talk about, because it's actually risky when you don't have an authority over they're not coming to take over the relationship. They are just there at this side, like they're just there at the corner to make sure that everything is going well, and when you need them, they just come in and take their leave. They're not coming to help you run your relationship or your marriage. So I think it's a very important thing that the two of you need to sit down to talk about if it's coming from you, BC. So now Bello is asking, what if couple have different personal vision and values? How can they align it together? Yes, that's why I said we have to sit down to talk about it. Now the thing is, we don't have the same vision, we don't have the same value, but our vision and our values, is it taking us to the same end? So I want to raise a family where we can freely enjoy and talk. I'm just using an example. And my husband wants to raise a family that they can easily learn and now put this together and write in words. We are raising a family where you can easily enjoy, have fun, and also learn to achieve this and that. Now you see that you're not putting your vision alone or your values, you are putting your own and your wife's own together. When you start having kids, whatever your child is saying, you are also adding it together to make sure that you have a good family vision. I'm trying to see the other question. I don't think I've missed any other question. But BC, I hope I answered your question well. If you need to talk about this after this section, I'll be glad to talk to you about this. Noah Bello, I hope I've been able to answer your question. So is there another question? Please let me know before I end this section, please. I will need to really go soon. Oh, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
And we have a visitor in our midst. She has been crying. Yeah, say hello to everybody. See, your mommy didn't run away. Okay. No problem. You can drop my number. So thank you for having me here. All right, and all right, Passion team, I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. So I'll take my leave now, and if we have any other question and I am able to see them, I will answer under the comments below, if that's fine by us. Yes, thank you, Uncle. All right, so see, all right, is saying welcome, Alora. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for the feedback. Hey, don't draw it, don't do it. Okay. These visitors that we have in our midst, she'll scatter everything. So let me quickly take my leave. All right. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. It's good to be here this afternoon. Thank you.